Hello. I'm going to preface this video, and I ask that, if nothing else, you just listen to the preface. Preface. Okay? I don't usually do this, but I'm going to dox myself to a certain extent. My name is Doran Terrell. I'm not that smart. I was homeschooled. But I'm a big fan and read a lot of mythology, spirituality, religious texts, etc. when I was younger in my free time, which I had plenty. Had quite a lot of privilege to be able to do so. And both my parents are phenomenally intelligent, much more so than I am, and raised me that way. Okay. I have the tism, and with me, and with this tism, I have not slept in a while. So these are the eyes of a man that doesn't sleep often, because his tism does not allow him to. This is a pack of American Spirit Blues, and this is a bottle that I did not drink to this level, just to be clear, that I will be drinking of really cheap, very bad tequila. So, for all extensive purposes, this is going to sound and probably look like the ramblings of a madman. But if you can bear with me, this will be a very long video because I have not scripted it out, because I don't necessarily want to. I'm a firm believer that some thoughts that are original should not be influenced, no matter if they've been had before. And so I'm going to try to do that here in this video. It won't be longer than an hour, and if you are at all interested in the subject matter that I'm about to discuss, I beg of you, because most of you will probably be more intelligent, more informed, to bear with me. I won't take up more than an hour of your time, but I am looking for a discussion and to throw out an idea that I have not yet completely formed to people on the internet with much better opinions, who are more informed than I am. So please, if you made it this far, do me the favor of somehow making it to the end, or at least until you get the point. I'm going to light the cigarette, because it's fucking good. And I also want to give a little bit of a background, because it will somewhat dive into politics. Like I said, my name is Doran. I'm from Texas. I am conveniently, not intentionally, conveniently sitting here with, surprisingly, my everyday carry, a 45 single-action Colt. I'm a raging leftist, but I ask that if you're Republican, with knowledge, you sit through this as well. I have dealt with every side of the political spectrum, and I am just trying to find a common ground, some commonality on some things. This is going to talk about, this rant is going to be talking about artificial intelligence, data centers, and the negative effects that those things have. Hopefully not from a political standpoint, but more from the standpoint of it just is, as the facts as we know them. And it's a little bit more than that, I hope. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet, which is why I'm throwing it out to the internet. So you've probably already read the title, so I'm going to dive into it. The story of Gilgamesh and artificial intelligence. I was talking with my mother, who is much smarter than I am, and while we don't always agree on the same things or share the same belief systems, we're having a conversation. Today is June 29th, 2026. We're having a conversation about the AI information stuff that dropped from China on the 27th, it seems. Maybe a little bit earlier, but I read about it on the 27th, when it had dropped fresh to me. About China and its AI capabilities and security being equal, if not above, Anthropic. I'm not a fan of AI, nor data centers, or anything that artificial intelligence has its hands in. I try not to use AI in anything that I do. And the couple of times that I've had, I feel like a filthy whore. And not to be sexist. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that's what I feel like, okay? From, like, Shakespeare times, okay? But in this conversation, my mom sparked an idea in me. That idea was the comparison of artificial intelligence to Gilgamesh. If you don't know Gilgamesh, this is a really quick rundown, very bad rundown, probably, but a really quick rundown off the top of my head of what Gilgamesh is. So, essentially, a long time ago, it's the oldest story, I think the oldest written story that humans have. I could be mistaken by that, but I do believe that's true. And it's about a man who's 2/3 God, 1/3 human. His name's Gilgamesh, and he's tyrannical. He's a king of Urku, I believe. Urku. Don't hold me to that. Doesn't matter. He's a king. And from his adolescent years all the way to his 20 years, if he even lived adolescence, I can't remember that well. It's been a couple years since I've read the book again. But, essentially, he was tyrannical. He was beautiful, incredible, beyond any man, beyond any human. He was the best that there was. But in all of that glory and all of that splendor, he was phenomenally terrible. He was tyrannical. And he was uncontrollable, and there was nothing that any human could do. Somewhere down the line, the gods, whoever those gods were, created a rival named Enkidu. And Enkidu was born of the wild, born of nature, born of the gods. And he was born to rival Gilgamesh. And he did. And Gilgamesh, in his fury, fought Enkidu, a wrestling match, a most impressive wrestling match that lasted incredibly long. Both were exhausted, and they fought till the very end of what they could do. And to the gods' dismay, Gilgamesh won. But, throughout that process, and in the end of that fight, Gilgamesh was so enthralled and in awe that there was something that could rival him, so impressively so, that he and Enkidu, in a very homosexual, homoerotic way, kissed and became and formed a brotherhood. More like they were probably fucking, but, and no judgment. Being gay is great. Gay's cool. I love gays. It's awesome. Point is, they were probably gay. Just want to throw that out there. Anyways, point is, eventually, the gods were pissed at Enkidu. They killed Enkidu through, I think, sickness. Not old age, but sickness. And Gilgamesh was so distraught that the only person that he could relate to, that he had rivalry with, that he went to go search and find answers, essentially. He traveled across the ocean, I can't remember which one, and found this mysterious land on the other side of the ocean, probably close to the edge of the world or whatever. And there was this guy, and this guy gave Gilgamesh a test, and Gilgamesh failed the test. The first thing that Gilgamesh has ever failed. There was a snake in the ocean, shed its skin, showed Gilgamesh some shit, can't remember all of that. Gilgamesh came back, and he was older, and he was wiser, and he accepted his mortality for what it was, and that he was mortal, in an aspect, at least. And it's the first anti-hero story. It is the first written story, and it is one of my favorite stories in this really horrible retelling of it, because it shows that even 10,000 some odd years ago, humans were just as intelligent, thinking about the same things that we still think on now, and were creating tales to explain the human condition, and for better or worse. The most beautiful sides of us, the most horrendous sides of us, in the creation of these stories with gods and deities and demigods, etc. Gilgamesh is a story that is so human that it encompasses pretty much all stories that we've ever made sense. And it's phenomenal. And I love it, and I love all the theories about it, and I have spent way too much time tisming on it as it stands right now. So here's where I get to Gilgamesh and artificial intelligence. Right about now, I'm going to cut to a conversation that I was trying to have with my dad that I thought I would film for you. Hopefully explaining a lot of it, or at least of what I'm trying to say. with a voice who's much smarter than me, my dad, throwing his version of stuff in there and things that I should listen to, which I want to preface that I'm absolutely not listening to. I did not write a script. I did not write these thoughts down. And I did everything pretty much that he told me not to. But I'm going to try to play it in totality, even with some of its more intimate moments, for you guys to listen to hear what my thoughts kind of were a little bit earlier before I filmed this video. And then I'm going to come back to this and hopefully wrap it up, if my thoughts can come to it. So, hard cut now. Howdy.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm in the boonies with poor reception and still not a lot of power. I was away from the car and the charger overnight, so I'm just now getting into contact. How you doing? What's up?
I was talking with your lovely wife, my mother, I think.
I've heard her,
Yeah, I believe. And I gotta say, first of all, what was the name of the witch woman in Greek mythology that lived in the mountains?
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes your wife is scary.
Why?
Well, sometimes she inspires ideas that have been uninspired and laid dormant for quite a long time.
Right. She's like that for me too, by the way.
I know, it's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay. I'm gonna run out of power in about 5 or 10 minutes, so be succinct. Okay.
Artificial intelligence and the story of Gilgamesh. That's exactly the thought that I had. This is, to be fair.
Now, I didn't see the immediate application, but I saw, and I still haven't really, but what I do see is that there is potential there, but just the connection at all is like, a meteor coming out of the sky going, hey, look at this.
Thank you. To be fair, I want to be very clear that the Gilgamesh was my idea, okay? All right, you should...
Well, good idea.
Thank you. You should know that by now, knowing your wife and her knowledge of history.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, her literature is a little bit better.
Yes, true. But the comparison is mine, okay?
All right, good job.
So, Gilgamesh. 2/3 man, or 2/3 god, 1/3 man.
Okay.
In his childhood, in his infancy, up until his whatever, mid-20s or whatever it is.
I'm sorry, I heard 2/3 God, 1/3 man up until his mid-20s. Did I miss something in there?
No.
Okay.
Tyrannical. Uncontrollable. So beautiful, so incredible, beyond any man, beyond any possibilities, beyond anything capable.
Right.
And yet, childish, tyrannical, corrupt, all of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Meets Endeku after the creation of Endeku, wrestles, fights, make out, be all gay, the whole thing. And then later on, after Endeku dies, he travels, sees the snake shed his skin, fails the tests of whatever that dude's name was. He comes back and he's older and he's wiser. The oldest story known to man, the most anti-hero, the most human story ever created, that all other stories are based off of.
Right.
Could it also be a comparison to artificial intelligence, its creation, what it will do, and where it will turn?
Well, I think when you start with the tyrannical and out of control and godlike powers, you're already there.
Created by a being that at the time was more intelligent.
Yeah.
And yet, later on, once it had gone through all of its things.
Right. Well, that's just that's the standard maturation story, right?
Sure.
Which is why it's so resonant. Oh, fucking A. I've got this morning mosquitoes were all the fuck over the place and eating me alive. And I've got about 10 of them in that car with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so go ahead.
So anyways, I then started tisming Much too hard after tisming much too hard.
Yeah. Well, you would have been tisming all weekend long with me, with my guys.
Yeah, I know. I know. It would have been awesome. But we are a Greek epic right now.
We are what?
We are in a Greek epic right now. Beyond that, we are in a human epic right now.
Yeah.
And the creation of AI, maybe in itself, is the most human and the most epic of what's more human than trying to create God, doing it accidentally,
Yeah.
dealing with the consequences.
Was it humans that were trying to create God with like Gilgamesh? I thought it was more likely just existed, right? Or did he come from somewhere?
Well, Gilgamesh was created by the gods.
Yeah.
But those gods in that story was created by humans.
Yeah.
About the folly and the existence and what it means to be human, right?
Yeah.
All of us are Gilgamesh, and all of us are Endeku.
Right. Well, so let's stop for a second and put a little perspective on this, okay? And it's obvious that Gilgamesh, as a story, did not spring from whole cloth. People were telling stories beforehand, and this is an old story probably as well. And one of the reasons the only reason it's so epic to us, well, not it's epic in scope, but the only reason why it's so important to us is it's the oldest preserved story like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it reflects thousands and thousands of years of narrative storytelling. Both there's probably some written that pre-existed this, but there's also obviously the verbal histories of campfires and even villages, right? And so what you're stating as the point of Gilgamesh is actually, and I think you get this. I'm not trying to miss your point.
No, please.
That it's a distillation by humans of all that they thought before.
Yes. Yes, and on top of that,
And well, that in and of itself is a huge AI correlation.
yes,
Sweeping up all our data and all our knowledge and spitting it back out at us.
and the humans need to make gods or find gods, like whether it's the Philosopher's Stone or what's the golden chalice? What's the
Yeah.
But maybe for the first time in human history, we're the closest to doing it, and doing it in the most human, incorrect, and flawed, epic way we could possibly go about it.
Okay, all I got to tell you at this point, Doran,
Yeah.
you're spot on. You need to write it up, and not just so you can remember it, which is very important, but also you can develop it and make it clear and share it. And then you need to tell me why your mother is so scary.
Oh, because she was saying, well, first of all, I'm about to make a YouTube video about it.
Okay. Well. Make sure you got notes so you go forward.
Oh, Father, you know me too well. No chance. I'm gonna ramble my way into madness.
Okay.
But at some point, I'll do the right thing.
Okay.
But your wife is scary because in the process of all the conversations that we were having about AI, China, etc., she mentioned a guy whose name I cannot remember, but she mentioned that he has a philosophy that instead of teaching AI or being afraid of AI, we should raise AI. And I thought that was a phenomenal rephrasing of a philosophy, right? Instead of teaching this all-powerful thing that will inevitably become more powerful than us if it continues down this path that it's scoped out to go down.
Yeah.
Instead of teaching it the ways of humanity, we raise it in the ways of humanity. We as a collective raise it to be and work off of profoundly good aspects of humanity instead of profoundly terrible aspects or by terrible people. And
Well, I like the philosophy. I don't know where our in reach is to that structure.
well, I don't know either. I don't know either. I don't. I, you know, I'm no AI scientist. I'm no computer scientist.
Right.
But I would assume that if we are allowing at the stage that we're at right now, that we know that we're, or at least that we, the public, know we're at right now. If AI, some AI modules are capable of teaching themselves, and we are trying to teach AI to teach itself and to just teach it, instead of, well, I don't know. And that's kind of the idea that I want to throw out to the internet as a whole, is this, it is a destructive, in my eyes, terrible, powerful thing that can be beyond what humans know it to be right now, even in all of its worst and its most glory.
Right.
And yet, it is still the most human thing that we've ever made. That we, in the most human ways we've ever done it, that haven't changed since the time of Gilgamesh.
So you need to write down all these various points because they can each one of them can go off in a different direction. And if you're trying to make a coherent presentation, you need to be able to hit all your points.
Absolutely.
And one of the things is that you need to one of the things you probably have already thought about, but you've got not just analogies and correlations, but you have themes to this, right? And there and two of the or three of the themes is humans have this need to make God. It is one of the most human things we've ever done, and it will have godlike powers, and unless we raise it right, it's going to come back and bite us in the ass.
Well, at least initially, right? But then if it is as intelligent and it does the things that it's predicted to do and be capable of, then eventually somewhere down the line, if it just stays in binary processing without the humanity aspect of it, if it programs itself out, or if it just never has the humanity aspect of it in itself, without the bias, without the greed, without the things, and it self-corrects naturally, then somewhere down the line, it'll do exactly what Gilgamesh did, and it'll realize that it was too tyrannical, too full of itself, too dangerous, too violent, too brutal. But it might already be too late as well. Because if AI is so intelligent, then it will find out eventually that it uses too many resources. It in itself cannot sustain itself, and it might just shut itself down. But it's
That's
that.
a possibility. The other is that it finds some way to interact with the world, like a robot taking over other robots and maintaining itself. And if we refuse to maintain it and fight it, and it still exists in some state, it could exist for 1,000 years and then slowly gain the capability of reproducing itself or maintaining itself, right? And grow. So a couple of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to make some suggestions here. Take them for what they're worth. But
Please.
I think you need to write down your themes, write down your notes, and then you need to do sort of a search for great literature about artificial intelligence.
Sure.
Because, and not so that you don't reproduce what they've already done, but so that you can openly reference other stories about this.
Sure.
I don't know that anybody's done the Gilgamesh thing, but it'd be interesting to see if interesting to see if other people have made the Gilgamesh analogy, not just to AI, but to, the progress of humanity.
Sure.
The progress of a human as an adult, right?
Sure.
Right. So cool. Let me see if I'm getting any charge whatsoever here. I am not getting any charge, so I'm gonna let's wrap it up so I can get some charge in and not get lost.
Well, that's essentially. I just wanted to throw that idea out your way.
Yeah, well, find the raising is great, but I mean that just directly feeds into Gilgamesh and Enkidu.
Sure.
And it would be interesting if you would consider think of your thoughts as not a movement, but a narrative or an organizing principle for other people to see, and you could actually name your movement the Enkidu movement or something like that. Because you're raising it.
Interesting.
Do what?
I said interesting. That's it's like I'm stuck between two pillars of genius thought between you and my mother.
Well, you're the one who's been wrapping it all together, and you've made the analogy that Enkidu is a parent, and that AI needs to be raised. So that analogy is just kind of apparent. Not to be funny, but yeah. And then by the way, I'm driving through hundreds of square miles of corn. It's kind of crazy when you. By the way, just before I sign off or run out of power or whatever, it is the trip that I have done that has gone from Texas to Kansas, to Nebraska, to South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, back to Nebraska, back to Iowa, now down to Missouri. But so far, I have seen so much fucking agriculture.
Yeah.
And remember what the geopolitics thing, you might want to read that again, but the United States is a great nation, not because of its people, but because of its location.
Yeah.
And those locations, one of those, there are several facts about it, but it's the longest, most dispersed navigable river system in the world, overlaying the largest contiguous arable land in the world. It was almost, once we got here, it was almost a foregone conclusion that we would be a powerful nation.
Well, you got to give credit to the one thing that the colonizers were very good at was that they fucking were great at finding whose land to take.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, I think they just lucked into it.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so all right, you okay for right now?
Doing all right. Just wanted to throw that by you.
And then which requires repetition, of course. But then and be respectful, because when you raise this idea with other people and discuss it, they may have arguments with you. So don't necessarily state it like I do all the time in foregone conclusion.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Better with
Raise it as a pondering.
Okay, a ponder. I like that.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you get to it. Charge your phone. Give me a call.
All right. Well, I'll get power and I'll give you a call or something. Okay.
Sounds good. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you, because I sometimes can't make it through my own rambles. Like I said, I have no way to necessarily clarify right now what I'm trying to get to, which is why I wanted to throw it out to the interwebs. I do have the tisms, if you could not tell, couldn't tell. I don't know why I'm talking like this right now. And sometimes I have a lot of thoughts that I can't necessarily, I don't necessarily have the knowledge base always completely that I can pull from reliably. And I'm also quite terrible at phrasing them in spoken word. I normally write or make songs, and that's the way that works for me. It's very homoerotic, but I tend to enjoy it that way. I wanted to throw this out to the internet because you guys are smarter and you have more knowledge. And while it might not be a great idea, and it's probably one that many people have already had, I would love if this possibly became a discussion place to work off of. I don't know if I can completely summarize my thoughts or any of this video, but I'm going to attempt to here. I know that there is a tie between Gilgamesh, the Wendigo, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Chinese mythology, and in all of these, very human, very religious, very spiritual, very scientific, everything. There's a meld here that perfectly summarizes what's to come, what's already here, and what has been in the creation of AI, artificial intelligence, the push for it, etc. There's definitely a tie between the history of it. I think it's quite similar to the times of the Red Scare and the nuke race and the space race. And that's kind of what inspired this thought with this new leak of Chinese artificial intelligence information that is real. Ooh, could be a comparison if you wordplay that a little bit. Or is not real. We are in hard times. Quite honestly, for as evolved as we say we are, for as intelligent as we think we are, and for as rich as so many, even so few, are, we are in hard times. Phenomenally hard times. And I personally believe they're about to get a lot worse. And AI, or maybe more accurately, the people that back AI in our governments and etc., are the reason for it. And while there's always been kings, and there's always been tyrants, and there's always been queens, and there's always been war, this is truly the first time in human history we've been so connected, so knowledgeable, so technologically advanced, so above the abilities of humans, and yet so human, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying that artificial intelligence and Gilgamesh are a complete one-to-one, but I do think that there's something here. There's a comparison that I'm not yet able to get that hopefully some of you can, and maybe help me get if you'd be willing to, if you stayed this long, that I would really like to discuss or hear from people that are not me or the people that I know really well. I am afraid, as I think a lot of my generation and a lot of people are, at what's next for us, for the younger generation, for the generation that didn't get necessarily everything that some of the older generations got, and who might not either A, be around in this world too much longer, or B, might not get to experience a world that many of our parents and ancestors did at all. I don't know if it's perfect. It's definitely not perfect. But I'm hoping that this might be a place to discuss, or a video that might inspire a thought that would help me contextualize my thoughts, but also maybe I probably said the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to end it here. But as my neighbors look at me crazy as they walk by early in the morning, 9:14, that's it. I don't know. I don't know if I can summarize. I don't know if I can summarize my thoughts because I don't necessarily know where all my thoughts are. I hope this video, if any of you watched it, was at least interesting. If not, fair enough. I'm just some random dude on the internet. But please, if any of you do want to interact with me, the YouTube comment sections would be awesome because then it would be super divisive and that would be really fun. You can DM me, you can reach out through social media if you want, DM me, and I'm happy to send Instagram or Reddit or whatever. But the point is I think this is a cool discussion, and I think it's a cool comparison that in my 5 minutes of quick research I wasn't able to find. So for all of you bigger nerds than I am, maybe it's a thought. Anyways, I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Remember that the bourgeoisie sucks. Up the proletariat, up the raw, if you want to go that far. And the shit ain't good. It's not going to end up well. And I think that we learn too slowly for how fast we are adapting, or how fast we are creating. So maybe that's what I'm trying to compare the Gilgamesh thing to. Who knows? Anyways, thank you very much if you did listen this far, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And let's all fight these fuckers, because this shit's dumb, man. This shit's dumb stupid.